Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are slowly grinding our way across, well, Asia here. That's most of Asia at this point. I mean, there's some up here that we're not touching at this moment. We'll get there. But for now, we're trying to push across mostly China. But I will point out that last episode we ended with this front having been joined up. And there's no rail connection here. Now, right at the end of last episode, I queued up this. So if we go into the rail here, you can see we've got a rail connection queued up here now. It's not built yet, but it'll get there soon enough. So that'll help matters significantly. But I was also eyeing up this area right over here and being like, I kind of want to build the supply hub here. So I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to put a supply hub right here. So that seems fine. We'll get a connection in like this. And also, we can do like this and this in a kind of weird crossroads there. Okay, sure. So that seems fine. We'll move these up. We're definitely making good progress on our railroads. You can see a lot of these are just little upgrades that are pretty low priority, but there's not that many left to do. We're making very, very solid progress on that. So that's great. We've got a lot of construction work to do in this territory. There's no doubt about that. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to push forward here. Now, these guys are still attacking up here, and I'm wondering why. Maybe if we tell him to stop. We've got a couple of attacks here that are happening anyway, but we don't really need to continue to push forward over here. If we can do it, I don't mind. But I don't want to needlessly attack up here. Looks like we're still going for it. Okay, well, he's just issuing these on his own, so that seems fine. We can get him a tactic. Okay, so Blitz is maybe a good tactic here. Yes, likely. We'll go for Blitz. So that's his preferred tactic now. Excellent. So we'll just continue to, I guess, push on this front. That's fine. We've got a couple of modern tank brigades, and those are earmarked for coming out over to here. Excellent. So that looks fine. We should also recruit a commander for this, so we'll promote one up. There we go. This guy again. Okay. Well, I guess that's fine. So we've got these guys actually encircled, and we should stack wipe them. They're not going to be particularly difficult to stack wipe, of course, because they're completely and totally encircled. So that looks great, and we're continuing to push across here. What does this fill-in look like? Okay, fair enough. That's reasonably fine. I'm still quite content with that. I want to continue this offensive for the time being. Basic large airframe has finished up, and we can grab, like, the improved large airframe. I'm not terribly concerned about making aircraft at this time, but eventually perhaps. There was one of those units getting stack wiped. That's perfect. And eventually the other unit will as well. And we'll get that taken over. That's not even a particularly large concern. So I want to check here what the casualty rates are. So this is very similar to last time we looked. I think this number is up by a decent amount, though, probably because of the stack wipes that happened down here last episode. I think that's fairly likely. Okay, so everything's looking good then. We just need to get these guys out of here. They're about to run out of organization, so they'll stack wipe very shortly. There we go. Excellent. So that's all absolutely perfect for right now. Now we have no national focus right now, that's to be expected. We're going to finish up a core in 18 days. Okay, that seems good. And for the moment, is there anything else we want to work on? Well, we could do industrialization schemes. How's our agrarian society doing? If we come in here and check here, 9, 15, and 45. Okay. I feel like we have enough manpower, and we don't need to do this. But it's not a bad thing to do, right? What else are we going to spend our political power on? I mean, we could spend it on another theorist here. That's definitely a distinct option. And we'd probably go on a military theorist. We could also work on some of these chiefs of the army. So army offense would be very good here. Division attack plus 10%. Seems great. And we could do a... This is pretty much all Navy here. Yeah, naval... Chief of Navy here. We should probably be getting some naval experience. This is all gaining us naval experience. So what kind of naval experience do we want then? Convoy raiding, I mean, we don't really have a Navy at all. So that's something to think about. Do we have any Navy? No, we have no ships. And that's understood. We're not terribly concerned about getting them either at this moment. Although... I say that knowing full well we're in a war with Japan. We're going to have to get to Japan at some point. So there is that. So I do think that we should probably go for... Honestly, let's just get the maximum amount of naval experience that we can for right now. We can change that later, if we choose to. As far as our air goes, this is basically the same sort of thing, although air superiority plus 10% is pretty good. We'll take that. Although we're not contesting air superiority right now, we likely will later. So, we've now got these military high command. And what do we want here? Division attrition minus 8%. How much division attrition are we taking? The answer is definitely some. Logistics is really good. This is motorized and mechanized attack. Entrenchment speed. We don't have the political power to get this guy in. Here's what I'm thinking right now. We take the Army Logistics expert to bring down our division attrition by 8%. Then we go for the Armor Specialist for the Armor Division Attack and Defense and the Infantry Expert here. I'm going to go for the Infantry Expert first, I think. Well, actually, we're not on that much of a defensive right now. So I'm going to go for the Armor Specialist. This is only a 5% boost. The Infantry boost is better, but we're not really using our infantry there. Division speed, reinforcement rate, and initiative, huh? Okay. Yeah, let's just go for this for now. That'll definitely give us some boosts. So we'll take that for the moment. Okay, so what do we have going on up here? Has this attack stopped? It has indeed. I want to take a look at the supply situation up here. Okay, we should definitely consider a supply hub here. We could even consider one here. Although I feel like this is... And there's also a victory point right here. I feel like we don't actually need one there. So instead, we're just going to run a rail line, actually kind of like that. But also, I want to run a rail line that's going to come down like this, and that's going to connect into this victory point once we have control over that. So that looks fine for now. No issue there. And we're still working on getting a lot of this construction done out over here. So that looks okay. We're taking some defensive action up over here. This is actually an offensive attack here. Although I don't think that's going to go anywhere. So that looks fine for now. Our main offensive focus is down here, and these attacks are a bit stalled out right now. I don't think this is due to any supply issue down over here, really. We could use more supplies out over here, but it's really not too bad. Although this supply hub should be motorized. That will alleviate the supply issue out over here even before this comes in. So that looks good for now. Okay, what's the status on the rail connection here? That's pretty built up. Okay, that looks good. So no issue there for now. Excellent. Now we're at 78 political power, and that means that we can almost get this infantry expert. And we'll get that very, very shortly here. We're now at 79, so we can get it tomorrow. Perfect. And we may change some of these later when our focus changes, but for now, this is absolutely that land war in Asia situation that I'm told that we're not supposed to do. But here we are. And we're doing pretty well at it, too. Look at this attack. This is a pretty good attack here. I like it. We're struggling a bit in the mountains, but in the non-mountainous regions, it's not so bad. And this here is hills, and we're slowly starting to push them out. We're definitely doing very well on that. I want to check in on the status of tanks. So let's see what we've got here. 4 needed for reinforcement, and what's our current stockpile on tanks? It'll change over in a moment. Maybe. There we go, 4486. So we can see that our number of tanks in stockpile is slowly growing. Very slowly, but slowly growing. So that's good. Non-aggression pact from the Chilean Socialist Republic? Okay, we'll accept that. So that sounds good. We're definitely taking over large swaths of territory out over this way. And that's phenomenal. So as we continue to push over here, of course, we're going to need to continue to think about building our logistics network. This is a good spot for a logistics hub. I'm going to put one there, and we're going to need to have that be rail connected. That did not connect into the province I wanted it to, but it's okay. And we'll have it be something like that. Excellent. So we'll get that underway, and the question is, are we catching up or falling behind on our rail constructions? And I think the answer is we're catching up right now. So that's absolutely great. Our push is not tremendously fast at this moment, and I think that's good. The reason why that's good that we're not pushing tremendously quickly is because we're not outrunning our supply lines. That's the core issue that like a Blitzkrieg style has, is that it outruns its supply. We can see up here we've got a supply issue going on, and yeah, that's not surprising at all. Here we have outrun our supply lines. So we definitely have to halt and construct some logistics out over that way. What's the status on the railway over here? We need a rail connection like that. Is there already one? That's odd. I'm not sure why it's not letting us build a railway here. That just goes away. Wild. Okay, whatever. Maybe it's because we're in the wrong map mode? No. It must already exist here, right? Yeah, it must be this. Dali to Yunnan. So this is Dali here, this is Yunnan. Yeah, that already exists. I don't know why it's not showing up, but whatever. Just a minor graphical issue there, I think. It does exist, it's just not displaying the way I expected it to. That's fine. So as you can see, this is not the fastest push in the world down here, but like I said, I'm very, very comfortable with the level of push that we have right now, because it's allowing us to keep our supply hub network fairly built up. I don't think we quite need a supply hub here. What's the victory point situation down here? There's a victory point here. Okay, that's a pretty good supply hub location, actually. And they've already got one there. So, yeah. I would like to have a railway that comes up like that. So we may want to consider getting a rail line that comes down like this, and then being ready to push that into here. And then this can connect up over here and have this connection down here that pre-exists. There's also a hub here, so that looks good. Okay, we'll continue to push them back here. And that looks great. Are we pushing along this line at all? No. Okay, that's kind of ideal. I don't want to be pushing in the north right now. Let's grab paratrooper 3s. That'll be fine. So yeah, no push in the north for the moment. We're mostly just letting our supply network get caught up over here. And it takes a long time to build these supply hubs. So that's absolutely going to take a bit. Why is this a level 1 railway? Let's get that up to a level 5. There we go. That'll be a little bit better. Perfect. So, checking in down over here, what we'd really like to do is we'd really like to get Chiang Mai. That'll be a very, very useful location for us to take. Are there any other victory points in the push here? Kunming is. And that's kind of it. So those are the only 2 locations in this offensive. I'm noting here that this is a pentagon. So the pentagonal attacks that we've seen up over here have been in Jinan, but this is a square. That's interesting. But this is definitely a pentagon. So the question is, what does that denote? And what does the pentagonal attack indicators denote? So, like, if we were to attack here, right? That's a circular attack. As opposed to a pentagonal one. I don't know what's up with that. But honestly, we might as well run this attack. I don't think we're going to get Kunming, to be clear. But if we did, that would be great. Yeah, we're going to stop that attack pretty soon, I think. But for the moment, it's fine. Not terribly concerned about that. This down over here is not a terribly relevant attack, but this one is actually a pretty relevant one. And actually, this is more relevant than I originally thought. Reason being, this is on the far side of the river. If we can establish a beachhead on this side of the river, then we can attack this much more efficiently. So this is actually a really good attack. I like this attack. Let's get these infantry to at least support the attack. Okay, so they're retreating out of here. Do we have forces moving in? Yes, we do. And we have a fixing attack here. These guys might get there in time. They didn't. Beautiful. So now, of course, we're going to need to have forces move in to defend this. And yeah, we're redeploying. So that looks correct. We just need to have this infantry unit hold out for a little while here. And that shouldn't be a problem. So from here, it's going to be much easier for us to stage attacks on this supply hub. So that's a very big deal. If we can take that supply hub, that's absolutely enormous. So I'm very, very pleased with how that's going. Up this way, we're very much just digging in and holding firm for the next stage of the operation up here, which I don't plan to happen for a while. And we're probably going to reform these lines as well before that happens. The next stage of the operation up here would be essentially pivoting this line to swing across and up and shorten this line to be here, essentially. But that'll happen after we get this and then all of this taken, and then we can push up this direction, would be the idea. So that's going to take a while. I want to check in on our decisions here. We're probably done coring, right? Yeah, we're done coring. So we can get another core going here as soon as we have the political power. That sounds good. We don't have the political power just yet, but we're almost in range to start attacking Chiang Mai, and that sounds very, very good.
Oh, shot.
Ah, so here's some of these guys. We need to move them into this Coast Guard unit. So that's now up to 29 units. That looks good. And I'd love to... This attack is odd to me. But I guess it's about encircling this supply depot. I'm fine with that if we can get this. That's actually pretty okay. This is actually fairly vulnerable here. Let's toss a few more units into it. And I'd like to do, I think, a fixing attack down here. Well, they have a unit walking away right now. They're trying to reinforce here. That's okay. I'm going to have these tanks start attacking here. Like that. I don't think we have any other provinces able to support this attack, and that's the downside to this attack. They're reinforcing it. We'll see if they get there in time. I think they will. We're still doing well with this attack. So an encirclement here is absolutely grand. I'd be delighted to see that actually happen. Okay, I want to check on what's going on up over here. This looks fine. I'm actually very pleased with this. Okay. So we have one retreat here. We're now moving. I think we're going to get there before they do. Yes. So that's perfect. We have another unit coming in here to encircle. That's exactly what I was looking to do. So the AI is on the ball on that one. I like it. That is exactly the plan that I had. Okay, we no longer get the effects from secret resource procurement. I don't even remember what that was, so sure. So the question is, are we going to arrive here uncontested? And it looks like the answer is yes. And we're going to get this fully encircled. So that's huge. They're currently retreating here, but we've been traveling for quite a long time. We're going to arrive here, and we can see that they are now fully encircled here. So we want to just attack this with, like, everything we've got right now. Get them out of here. So they're going to get stack wiped, and we'll take over control of this supply hub. Now, I want to check up over here. Yeah, we're now directly threatening Chiang Mai. That seems fantastic. These attacks up in the north are much tougher for us right now, but these southern attacks are quite exciting at this point. I'm very, very happy with what we've got going on here. There's a naval invasion out here. This is probably not a threat. Okay, so that seems fine. And we're definitely making some progress out here. These guys are trying to just... We have a big punch through over here, actually. There's a lot of territory over here we can maybe take completely uncontested. That's going to end up extending these lines quite a lot. And actually, let's assist that attack. If we can take Kunming, that's a big deal. So I want to check in on the status of our supply construction and what the supply down here is going to look like. So we know that there's a supply hub here. And we know that there's a supply hub here. Okay, we definitely want to extend this railroad here, and I'm going to take this railroad down like that. Because we want to get this online as quickly as possible, right? So that's absolutely going to be a thing. And once this falls, this will supply this area nicely. So I don't mind that at all. Yeah, I think overall this looks good. Cool. So is Kunming going to fall? If it does, that's a big deal for us. And it kind of looks like it was thinking about it, but not necessarily immediately. Now, we're still attacking over here. And that's some good stack wipes that we've got going on there, as we would expect. So we are definitely seeing this down here pushing quite far. Okay, so they're beginning to cover this at this point. This is not surprising. This front is wider than I would like it to be, for sure. And we can see just how far south this fill-in is going at this point. That's not necessarily where I want it to go, but for now it's okay. We almost have Chiang Mai encircled at this point. But we're not quite there. And we can see that this is very, very close to falling. Where's this raid at? The raid is going to be up over here, and only 65.8%. That's interesting. That's a lot lower. We do have the 5 out of 5 anti-air there though. So, okay, sure. Well, we'll see what we get. It's still above 50% at least. And if they damage the oil field, they damage the oil field, right? Okay, so we really need to get these troops freed up here. We can see that they pushed us back over here again. So we need to get these troops freed, and we need to get supplies flowing to this area. So there we go. This is now fallen, and we definitely need to make sure that this is all fully upgraded over here. So that looks good. The supply hub is currently no supply connection, but we can do that. There we go. So now we have some supplies flowing through out over here. This is not really enough to supply this whole area, and we should probably consider another hub down over here. Something like that. And we can move these up, and you can see we're definitely making solid progress on our railways here. So with that in mind, the next priority that I want to work on is absolutely going to be infrastructure. So we're going to get infrastructure going in all of these places. I'm putting this on the top of the queue because we need this for our logistics, but we will also get additional resources out of it. Now, a lot of these resources aren't resources we really need at this moment, but that's understood. Now I'm going to move the railways and the supply depots up top, but we're going to do something like this. Okay, so I'd really like to take Chiang Mai at this moment, but we're not quite to the point where we have it. Actually, this is really close. I'm gonna have these guys support the attack. This is really, really close to falling. Beautiful. It's about to go. And there we go. Chiang Mai is under our control. So that looks perfect, and now we need to make sure that this is fully connected in. So we want to do this, we want to do this, and then this railway is being converted. That'll be done in 10 days. We're going to want to upgrade it, but we can't do that until it's fully done converting. Okay, so at this point, now that we've taken their 2 supply hubs in this region, they're going to have a much, much harder time holding us until we get to Bangkok. This is going to be really... Oh, and we took Kunming, too. Okay, this is going to be a really big deal. I want to make sure that this is connected in over here. There is a water connection here, but I want to make sure that we have a solid rail connection like that. Okay, so that'll be fine for now. So, logistically speaking, we're in a decent spot here. We would definitely like to have better logistics down here, but it is what it is for now. We're pretty overstretched on this supply hub, and once this one gets done, that'll alleviate things. And once this one gets a supply connection, that'll be a big deal. So we've got 8 days here. We've got these rail lines starting to come online. They'll get there eventually. Eventually. When is this going to be done? In 5 additional days? Okay, we can just wait that out. That seems absolutely fine for now. So our southern push is going well at this point. I'm quite pleased with how this is panning out. No doubt about that. There's only a level 1 railway, so we're absolutely going to need to bump that up. And of course, our front line is pushing away from this, which is going to further strain the supplies out over here. This is a really, really dangerous spaghetti noodle. No one's moving into here. I'm gonna have this guy move here. Okay, there was a tank going in there. So this is a less dangerous spaghetti noodle now, but it's still kind of dangerous. So that's understood. I do want this railway connection to finish up. There we go. It is now converted. We're going to need to upgrade that to level 5. And this one over here is only level 3. Let's get that brought up to level 5 as well. So I'll do something like this. We should now have a supply connection to this hub. And indeed we do. So let's make sure that this gets motorized so that it can take as much strain as it can off of this hub. And that's actually pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. Okay, well, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue to push out over this direction. Things are going very, very well for us. When Bangkok falls, this nation here may actually capitulate, and that would significantly change the front lines. How close are they to capitulation? We should check that. Let's see, that would be these guys. Oh, okay, they're actually very far from capitulation. Interesting. Well, that may change when Bangkok falls. I'm just not seeing that many victory points in their nation. There's Bangkok here, and there's Singapore. And I guess they control this down here as well, which we are going to have a bit of a hard time getting to if we want to invade that. But for now, that's fine. It is time to put a cut in, as I said, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to push in over this way and see what we can get out of this. I would love to push to the sea here. That would be phenomenal. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge, STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.